let's see what happens, because a level 1, actually, we just cut the cinematics to say, you know what, ignore the beauty of what that could be, because we're fighting. It's not even a minute in, and we're getting it going, and will we see a level 1 win? No, unfortunately for Kurak, the hook doesn't connect, and everything will just simply fizzle out.
Yeah, curious to see if Ground Zero does decide to go for a late invade and like split the map. It's like, it's a good idea, sort of. Like they do have a stronger level 1, but I think Shern wants to be able to punish Gudo as much as possible, and like, you know, splitting the map and allowing Talia to have like 2 quadrants completely safe is like not ideal. So we'll see if they, you know, do want to late invade or, you know, play for a cheese.
Ooh, play for the cheese. We nearly saw it happen there with the bot lane of Ground Zero posturing and getting ready for Gunkrab to rotate around. He was seen on vision, and Gunkrab goes safe, but Voice does not. He burns his flash. He's down to 50. He has to go back to base. Look at the jungle. You talked about how aggressive they want to be to make sure that Gudo's life is not that fun, and he also has had to burn flash.
Imagine your bot side's getting invaded, and you're like, oh, okay, I get my blue, that's chill, and then you just get jumped on by both solo laners.
It's
like,
it's a crime.
There's no chill for Gudo here. Like, he's gonna have a really hard time starting the early game. Eskerk does go for the hook, and it goes wide.
Does go for the hook, doesn't actually hit the terrain as well, so we can't even get the buff of the auto attack, but Limus is going for the all-in, catching the axes, doing the big AD damage as Voice gets close to him, tries to do damage, but remembers, I'm XRL, I do no damage, but still, I'm going to persevere, weaving in those auto attacks from the spear, turning around as the first blood goes the way of Gunkrab. Instantly, Limus cashing in with little to no stacks, because it's only 2 minutes, but Voice gets it. There's another kill, and he dies to the minions. Oh, no.
Oh, that's sad. Even though they went for 2 for 2, Draven's got that little bit of extra gold. He's going to come out on top there. I would be very happy as GZ going for a 2 for 2 there. I think that like having this like double kill lane, no summoners in bot lane definitely favors them, especially with like Talia gank. I mean, not Talia, Nidalee gank priority. I think they're in a happy position here, but you know, we'll have to see if Gudo wants to, you know, like sack his and play around bot.
I'm curious to see what the game plan would be for Gudo, knowing that his work was cut out for him in game 1. Does he feel he needs to be a little bit more selfish this time and try and be the star to show himself, as did Talia? Or does he still say, right, well, I can spot an opportunity, there's an opening here, I'll look to try and set that one up quite nicely, because as for Tien, I mean, look at this wave that he's built up in the top lane. This is a disaster waiting to happen. Schoenfire already entertaining the idea of going bot lane. The interrupted disengage from Voice, beautifully done there by Kurak, buffered with another axe as well to make sure that he's dropped down low. And without any potions, Schoenfire looks at him and says, well, you're next one on the cards, because once this wave crashes, we are ready to dive. The hook out of range as he dashes onto Schoenfire and simply just gets targeted 1 for 1.
Yeah, see, this was the, you know, Shen's a bit too far ahead. He's playing between the waves, like playing the proxy. Gudo just comes down and finds the easy kill. This is the one problem with like diving in the early game. Like, you don't really know where the jungler is. You kind of just like flipping if he's here or not. Gudo does decide to come down. You know, they find the easy kill on Shen.
It's a very nice way for them to get back into this one, to certainly make sure that the game doesn't blow out of control at an accelerated pace like it did beforehand. Schoenfire, having already picked up the Dark Seal, unable to try and snowball that one with any early stacks for him. And with Fido holding this wave, I should say, for them Praetor to roam the map and link up if need be. But yeah, promising start for them. Begs the question then if they'll find enough control to then, you know, contest the likes of a dragon.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. Like, they kind of navigated the early game. Like, the wave crashed and they were able to farm it. And now the wave's back in a neutral state. They should be happy with no, you know, no flash, not hook speed. Oh, sorry, as I am incorrect there. Not does have flash still. So maybe they will be in a bit of trouble. We'll have to see.
We'll have to wait and see. Shern going to pop his head into mid lane, clear out some vision, make sure that he can continue to play in the dark and keep his opposition guessing. Obviously, you saw a fair bit of there in the top lane as they trade blows back and forth, farming up that grasp of the rune, but also at the same time, looking to try and bounce the wave back and see if a jungler were to pay any attention to that lane whatsoever. But Shern really is a case of denying as much as he can, making sure that Gudo cannot just, you know, outplay him and become a stronger carry threat.
Another stacked wave on bot.
Shernfire's too upset, really.
Gudo isn't here this time, and there's a double stacked wave on bot lane. We'll see.
Second time lucky. Here we go then. Who's the focus? Well, he started initially onto Gunkrab. He burns the Valkyrie nice and early. The knockup is fantastic and actually gets him 1 kill. Make it a 1 for 1 so far as both AD carries pick up the gold. The spear just missing. Voice surrounded by a ton of minions and are down quite low. They're no longer interested. Shern looking for the kill as he actually gets procced by the Ignite. Limus says, how dare you touch my jungler? They'll also fall on down. And this bot lane, just by existing there, you die.
Yeah, Shern, once again, like, he's just sacking himself to get bot a little bit further ahead. We'll have to see if, like, Gudo is able to pick up 2 or 3 camps. I assume he's going to get away with 2 here pretty comfortably, get himself a little bit of a lead, but, you know, Shern's really happy with that. His bot lane is so far ahead now, and that's an easy way to snowball the game.
It certainly is. I mean, we can definitely talk about the fact that Mammoth are trading on all these occasions, but it's a 4-1 Draven. You can never understate that fact there, as Fido is going to say, get back into that pit, Buster shot him back in, act like a minion, like one of those void grubs, which can easily be turned to now.
Yeah, that was the one saving grace of the bot dive, was that Gudo was getting camps, but they find him on the exit. Gets the red. I'm pretty sure Fido picked up the red buff there, which is going to be really nice for his lane. He's going to have a lot of kill pressure on the Syndra if he finds the jump.
Yeah, Voice looking for the jump, not going to be so successful. Time and time again, him holding his lane on his own, and it's fantastic for Kurak being able to free your own.
Yeah. It's just the one like unfortunate thing with Mammoth's comp is like they don't really have the early game to be able to punish stack waves like this. Like normally using, as we do go into a replay. Unfortunate Voice wasn't able to block the Nidalee Spear here. I feel like if he was, a lot of the damage onto Gunkrab would have been avoided, and they probably could have had a much more favorable outcome, but you know, like Nidalee's burst in the early game when she lands the spear into the execute is pretty...
Yeah, spear, pounce, delete with the swipe. It's pretty goated, to say the least. Ignite was a nice saving grace there, but out of the action into another fight as it starts off with Draven getting excited. 5-1 now as Voice is low. Second come of the axe being thrown towards him. So double kill for him there. Very nicely done as the UI glitches out since they've picked up 3 dragons in one fell swoop. That's not right, but either way, Ground Zero in a comfortable spot.
It's like Arena, you know, when you get the augment that gives you the mountain soul or the dragon soul.
All the souls at once.
Nice stun from Predator. Good chunk in the trade. Like the way that like the Syndra Tristana matchup works is like if you don't have enough vision for the Tristana to constantly be able to jump in, Syndra does find like the chip trades, and she eventually gets you down to execute range with her ult. But you know, Fighter's doing a good job navigating this, and I think that he's pretty happy with how the game state's been going.
Certainly will be. First item being picked up then by Limus. He gets the Bloodthirster online, which is going to really help out in fights like this.
Yeah, curious that Mammoth actually decided to start this dragon here. I think like the game state is not really in a good spot where you want to fight this fed Draven. Like Predator tries to find like a flash stun so they can get a kill, but like they just don't have the items or like the XP compared to Ground right now. And they just get wiped.
So do, and I suppose it opens the Pandora's box of what may happen as a result of this one. We've entertained the idea that we want to give you a gold lead again. After all this back and forth, primarily around the bot lane, we want to give you an opening to become even stronger. I will say though, whilst we've been mentioning the fact that Gudo was a saving grace, I think Reniko this time has actually found himself in a much more comfortable spot, this time up by 20 CS.
Yeah, actually, we haven't touched on top lane. He's doing a really, really good job. Like, the last time I noticed top lane was when Thien was doing a really good job, like, poking in front of his turret, but Reniko's done a really, really good job to just, you know, play this matchup, as we do have a bot dive here. We do. As much as we want to talk about top lane, it's all about double flashing and saying, get this Corki no matter what. You can get that blue side first pick, but it will not function in the same way that our Corki did. As Kurak looks to try and tank up the tower, hook the disengage away, buffers that auto so he doesn't fall on down, and Schönfei, even with that ramped up tower, doesn't die as well. So all those turret plates are gone. That bot lane no longer exists. Yeah, Limus is on track for another nuke game. This is something that I do see a lot in Ost. Like, you can't really leave the bot lane to its own vices after the early game. Like, you need to be covering on these bot waves, and I just don't think the communication is coming through about like when Gudo or Praetus needs to be around bot to make sure they don't get dove like that. As we do see the 3-man. Let's see if they do anything in his top lane, right? Let's see if they can find a way onto Tien. He's got no flash, but he does have the hook shot, so he baits it out first of all. Hextech Ultimatum is there to try and buffer another skill shot, but we're going to pay attention to another dive now in the bot lane. Instead, the focus is kill Limus, deny the stacks, get the bounty, get 1k shut down, but it's just not possible. 10 minutes in, Schönfei just gets away, but then he falls on down to a flash from Voice. And the axe says 10-1, 10 minutes, 10 kills. I am the man of the hour. As they do eventually take down Tien as we return back to the top lane. Fantastic flick from Gudo, and that finds them a second. You know, shout out Kurak, honestly. Felt bad for them and decided, you know what, guys, I'll hook back in. You can have a kill. Good by Mammoth to find the trade, though. Like, it's pretty common when you see, like, a dive happening on one side of the map. The other side of the map is a bit open to being, you know, susceptible to a dive themselves. Luckily, Reneko is playing the laning phase really well and, you know, set up the opportunity for them to be able to snowball the game. He is 2-0 right now, but, you know, we'll have to see if he's able to transition that into, like, anything in the mid-game if they are able to find Limus.
see how it all materialized. Really was a case of them just playing with their food a little bit inside that concave and saying, well, we'll pass it across to the Cassante. But like you mentioned, it was a case of going back in to give him that second kill. Whether there's a world in which the Cassante can become strong enough to get, you know, double crit nullifying abilities, be it a Frozen Heart into Aranduin's, if the game maybe gets that long, he can become a bit of a raid boss to try and shut them down.
Yeah, I mean, you did talk about like Cassante being a raid boss, but then Lemus already has his LDR in his back pocket.
Dude, it's 11 minutes, he's got 2.5 items.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bit ahead of the clock, and now like the bot lane's in top lane. This is when you're like, oh, I was winning my lane, like what's going on, why are they here already? We'll see how much damage Lemus can do here.
This does feel like one of those bot games. You know those like training dummy games where you're like, oh, I just want to quickly check out these like skills because he just hits so hard. He's just so much stronger than anybody else. He's down 2 levels into these solo laners, but he's up so many items, it doesn't even matter. And Eco tries to zone him out of the fight, which he's certainly successful in doing so. With the axe is now expiring, Kurek says, I'll take this one for you. You back away, protect that bounty. 1k gold is too much to lose. And Schoenfire also falls into that same category where it's like, I've just been stunned. There's no getting out for me. Save the VIP, keep this Draven alive.
Yeah, unfortunately they weren't able to find the 1k bounty there, but like they do find 2 kills for nothing. Guncrab's holding mid turret, the bot wave's not crashing it, so they're not really like losing big resources yet, so they're happy with how it's going. As they are looking for a top flank.
Oh, 2 different plays at 2 different occasions, and they do find Lemus. That's massive. That's absolutely huge. The first kill of the game here for Praetif, and it's a massive one with 1k gold going his way.
You know what? You know, respectable, going for the safe play. I saw the hook angle.
decides to reel it in on this occasion, right? Isn't able to have the same amount of like 1v1 potential as that Leona in the last game, but I think really, above all else, whilst Praetif has been forced to group with the rest of his team to try and flourish a bit, Fido's been left to his own devices, and I think, you know, Tristana able to nice sidestep there on the flick back, but a Tristana left to his own devices, he's just freely scaling.
Yeah, we did see Praetif was able to pick up the 1,000 gold bounty, but he's still behind in Golden Fighter. Like, this just comes from like the early skirmishing that he's been winning, and the tower plates he had access to there when they dove the Corki.
What is Granzura's next play then? Knowing that top lane is the focus, bot lane tower's already been taken, TN has been forced to flip the map state as a result. Obviously it makes sense then, right? You've got yourself this incredibly strong Draven with 6 Void Grab stacks. I mean, why not? Wherever the Draven goes, the towers simply will just fall on down. The TP in to guarantee the fight, the Magnet Storm to lock in free, but Voice has got him far too early as Guncrab says, maybe I can have a crack at it, but 2 axes and he's basically dead. Sidestepping on the pebbles, Lemus is holding on for dear life as he catches the axe. And look at those blinking health bars tally. Praetif, he sees them all, says that's a triple kill waiting to happen, but the only triple happening here is for Fido.
That is extremely unfortunate. You know, like one Talia E position a little bit to the right or left, you know, completely changes that fight. That's just GZ, like, playing with, you know, just mechanical prowess. They're extremely comfortable in those scenarios. Like, it's good to see teams, you know, not slowing down when they're ahead and being scared to throw. I think, like, these are the kind of, like, micro executions we need to see, like, to, like, make our region, like, as strong as possible.
It certainly seems to be the case. We've had a few different moments now where mechanical masterminds have come into life. Let's run it back of the replay. It all starts with Voice going in just a fraction too early, you'd have to say.
Yeah, he just went a bit too early, but I can't really blame him. The positioning from them was a bit aggressive. Like, we do have, actually, unsung hero in this play was Thien marking Cassante, so he wasn't able to TP and clean this fight up, which is extremely important. Like, this is something you would communicate as a team ahead of time. Like, oh yeah, we're going for a top dive. We win the 4v4, just make sure like their strong player isn't able to impact the fight.
That was the case, wasn't it? Certainly was, because if the Cassante does rock up, he's the one with the lion's share of their gold at this stage, I'd say, with the Iceborne Gauntlet complete, working his way towards you know, some mitigation towards these very fed AD carries with that Warden's Mail now picked up too. See, really at what point they feel that they're strong enough, right? Because they find themselves in a similar fate, down by 6,000 gold. It's not insurmountable, but certainly not enough to feel strong that you can contest just yet.
Yeah, they're still just, you know, one good team fight away, as we do see one siding here.
Well, here is that one good team fight. His Voice jumps in with the Magnet Storm again. This time it does, in fact, find some success because it gets the kill. Down goes Schoenfire. It's the response, though, as Draven showcases that my wallet, again, is just so big. You might have an item, but I have 3.
Yeah, Fido just had complete free access to the backline now. You saw he jumped into 3 people and he was just blasting. As he is going for a loop now. He's going for top there. Smart man going for the farm.
It's always gold. That's all you really care about at this stage. Lemus, he's just free hit. He is literally free hit Guncrab like he's a caster minion.
What tower?
Unbelievable. What a game state. I mean, I think for me, Limis is probably saying, well, this is AD carry, guys. I don't even need a support. I just get to 1v1 everyone.
Yeah, this isn't Limis. This is just his role.
True.
His role's just broken.
Limis is actually not that good. It's just the role, eh?
Yeah, he's not that good. We've all watched his stream. We know.
What can Mammoth get up to then? Because a dragon is there. There is no Cloud Soul, okay? We did have the bug before with the UI, but there is only one dragon. That was taken at, what, 7 minutes into the game? Once again, the game has been a case of forget these objectives. We just want a team fight. So that's what they're going to do. In they go again. Voice tries to dash out, but the ultimatum says nope. And drags him right back. But then with the spear not connecting, he's gone.
Yeah, Ground Zero are not like too comfortable chasing there. They don't really have the vision, and it's not really worth like getting that bit of extra gold. Like, I know for sure Limus is on an insane amount of gold right now, and he wants to find a reset. But knowing him, he's probably going to stay on the map until he can afford 2 items.
Not ready to pick up 1. He wants to go back to Boris with a ton of gold. And I mean, honestly, at this stage, who can blame him? Because he weaves in a couple of auto attacks here and there, and the Void Grubs are spawning another army down that lane state. And yeah, I mean, Mammoth got their work cut out for him. Reneko, the most favored say at this stage of the game, is unfortunately the one getting focused on down. And no matter how tanky you might think you are, you're just going to die. They're going to try and chase on down and find Schoenfire. He's been exhausted. He's been flipped back and then gone all out on. Limit says, well, it's time to play the montage music. The hardstyle's blasting. The hardstyle's stopped. He can't 1v3.
And they find another 1,000 gold shutdown, which is huge. If Fido does get out the TP, I believe he will.
That was close.
Yeah, and even though Mammoth are winning these fights, the whole time, Tien's just in the side lane. He's just like trying to make sure this Cassante, if he's grouping, he will be punished. It's another 700 gold onto the end. Like, getting these inner towers, breaking the map is so big for Camille. Being able to find like the flank angles later on in the game completely changed the champ.
Oh. Okay, Fido. Fair enough, mate. You want to prove why you're on this roster. That was nice. That was very, very nice, I may have to say. The tower falls on down, and Voice might also be sharing that same fate in just a second, but he denies it. Tien, having locked him in place, is actually the recipient of his own demise.
I don't know if Tien's just... I'm not grouping anymore, guys. Bye-bye. But one time he groups, he just dies.
This is why I split push, guys. Dear me. I mean, for me, it just feels like one of those games, right, where you can roam and do as you please, and you're always split pushing too. It's crazy. Let's run it back to this replay once again, because it's looking good for Mammoth.
Yeah, honestly, a bit of a iffy engaging onto Cassante there isn't really ideal. Like, he's just gonna buffer all the damage you do. Limus like does deal with the TP flank coming from Praedyth, but his entire team's dead by the time he rejoins the fight, and like even though he's this fed, he can't really deal with being CC'd.
Well, you lose the team fight, you're losing the lanes, you're losing the towers, you're down, what, 6 towers to nothing. The map simply belongs to Ground Zero. They're up now by a whopping 10,000 gold. And yet again, another battle takes place between these two carries as to who can do the most damage. This time, Limus does win on the fact that he's got double the kills of his new mid laner. But he's not going to be sitting too upset by that one. I mean, you look at Schoenfire and say, you're 0-6 and 16. Do you think he really cares, Tally? Because I don't think he does.
No, he did it. He knows he like sacrificed himself in the early game to get his bot lane ahead, and his bot lane is extremely ahead. Like, he's happy with how he's done his job. Like, if this was solo queue, you'd be like, oh, like I'm not carrying. Like, I'm not getting my dopamine injection. But you know, like in comp, like it's a 5v5 game. You do whatever it takes to win. You
certainly do. You drop the ego. You say, well, if you're going to be the star of the show, then I'm here to support that. If it gets you the W, that's all you really care about, right? You want those 3 points. They're absolutely essential, certainly for guaranteeing your highest possible seeding when players do come around. But it's a phenomenal opening for them to showcase that even with these new faces on the roster, their skill level has not dropped one bit.
Yeah, generally it's impressive, like how clean they've been. You can also like ascertain that to like how ahead they are, but I think that like Ground Zero have done a really good job with like their macro, the early game, like transitioning leads well. And it's nice to see that like the beginning of the split isn't so messy and like it would tidy up towards the end. Like if this is how we're starting, I'm excited to see what the rest of the split looks like.
100%. I mean, there's been a common, I don't want to say cop-out excuse, but a common denominator, right? Where teams are saying, oh, you know, we're new, we haven't had much scrim practice and so on and so forth. But this is, this has been entertaining to say the least. Even if for Mammoth it's a bit of a living nightmare, They're still looking to try and find a way back into this one, and that goes with a blind stun to try and lock down Kurak. He's low enough that he's forced to flash away. A TP from Mammoth to try and back him up. The spear is there, the pounce comes on through, the Magnet Storm to try and act as a bit of zoning control, but Fido subs himself in. He gets the damage done. He gets knocked back by the Cassandra, who goes all out right underneath the tower and eventually gets that shutdown. There is all the damage coming together as Praetor is able to answer back in a phenomenal fashion, but it all goes down to the Corki, who eventually gets himself the triple.
Yeah, good luck Fido playing the game there. He just walked up for an auto attack and got kidnapped for a solid 10 seconds, couldn't move. But yeah, we're seeing the Corki damage. Like, even though he's so far behind, he picked up like those 2 lethality items and he's just absolutely pumping them. See what Ian is able to do here in the 1v2 though. Does have the ult.
Does have the ult. What tricks does he have up his sleeve? Goes in for the hook shot, still has the flash. The empowered Q doing so much damage. Ult on Praetor's head and guarantee that that is a winning fight. Now, for the second round in this one, can he beat the unstoppable monster that is known as Cassante, dodging out the Tofo strikes, which was nicely done as he buffers with the passive to get the shield to flash out of harm's way. His Gun Crab is just out of range with that phosphorus bomb, and Kureg cannot connect with that hook. Oh, sniped! What a phenomenal snipe there by Gun Crab, who then dies in a heartbeat right afterwards. This game, if nothing more, Tally, has been so entertaining.
Yeah, it's really, honestly, it's nice to see trades happening. You know, people aren't just dying. We're seeing like the end going in, waiting a bit just so the respawn timer on Fido's a bit closer, so he knows even if he doesn't win that, like the TP's there to clean up. And you know, a good job by Gungrab to find that last snipe onto Thien at the end there.
Well, back Ground Zero go again with 6 of those Void Grubs. These structures just melt like butter. Fido tried to buffer that one away, but unfortunately now is stuck between a 1v1 situation as he tried to get a kill on Cassante. A beautifully primed stun as they do scatter the weak. And they fought the attempts of their bases falling on down low. Kurak, very low himself, is forced to try and run away. Lemus cops himself in exhaust and doesn't even bother to hit cleanse or flash. Just stands, but does not deliver because he's now dead.
I'm going to be honest, Lemus is too fed for his own good. He's never going to run away from a fight that he should be running away from. He's just going to stand and deliver every time.
Oh, well. Schönfire has snuck himself into the back line like he is an agent and said hello. Nice little dash across the wall there. Completely denying the ability for Mev to try and find that kill. Voice flashing too, but loses vision for just a second. And that vision break is enough to ensure that Schönfire can survive.
Wasn't able to find the flash with the remount there onto Schön and, you know, get the kill onto Praetor, but still not the worst. You know, they're finding trades, even though they're so far behind in like gold and map control. Like this could be much worse. I think that like Ground Zero are probably playing a bit too fast. They should like slow the game down to be able to close it out pretty easy, but it's good that Mammoth are able to find like any gold into their carries right now.
It certainly is, because if nothing else, it's the fact that Gunkrep, despite how chaotic that bot lane early game was, you know, he's got 3 items. He's a full item behind that still of the Draven, as to be expected, but he's keeping pace with the rest of the team, and in some cases actually further ahead than members on Ground Zero.
See what Reneko is able to do here is he's being collapsed on by the 2 really fed carries.
Sure,
how broken is Cassante?
The comms are now, okay, who wants this kill? You know what, we cannot actually spoon feed this one. We just both need to do damage and let the game decide for us. There's another cash in, even more gold, because Lemus needs it. As Praetor unleashes the power and lives to tell the tale. Out comes the Talia Rocks as they try and break the line. Tien! No, Tien! He's been denied! The tax sweep gets it done in the end, but he knows that he's dead. And he hands it across to Goodo in the end.
Yeah, this is this constant like cross-map trading. Like one play happens on one side, another play happens on the other side. You know, and then once again we're bouncing back to the top side. More is happening. Have to see if Mammoth want to punish this. I'm just going to give the inhibitor.
Yeah, not really given an opportunity to defend that one, unfortunately. That's their second inhibitor falling on down. Desynced in terms of their respawns, so it's going to keep them locked inside their base for a fair bit of time. If nothing more, it's easy ways to farm minions to try and you know, find an opportunity to find that fight. Maybe, just maybe, that's when the next dragon spawns, be it that would be a soul point for Ground Zero. If nothing more, if the game were to go that long though, maybe they're praying for like an Elder Soul condition.
Yeah, saving grace is the Baron is the next objective, and their top 2 inhibitors are down, not the bottom, so where they're farming or where they're going to end up is on the objective side of the map. They're not forced to, you know, go on the other side of the map and play away from the next objective. They still have like over 3.5 minutes until like the soul fight happens, and by that time the inhibitors would be up and they'll be absorbing, you know, all that gold that's been coming into their base consistently.
That's a good point you raised, right? The ability to be in the right area to naturally plant that vision line down to protect your farm, but also to guarantee some eyes in the sky as to are they doing the Baron or are they not? As we know, a double AD carry setup does the Baron so quick. Add a Nidalee heal on top of that, and the Baron is basically gone before you even get a chance to blink. But they're playing with the food right now, our Grands. We're just making sure they clear out all kinds of vision, make sure that they know exactly where the side of Mammoth are, locked inside their base. Once they see all 5, would not be surprised them to go for the Baron.
Yeah, I expect to see Dian just sit down on bot lane and just be a nuisance. Try to force as many members as he can on the bot side because he can hit this tower like 1v1 against Cassante. He doesn't really care about like the tank damage as he is like Camille. And I expect to see Granzu just like start this Baron as 4.
Tien comes in, flanking from the side, finds his target. Gudo is the focus. Take him down instantly. Prayed for the one shot, but both mid laners get excited. So Schoenfire dies, but he's not going to be too upset by that one. Tien jumping across the wall saying, Guncret, where you going, son? Straight to the afterlife. Double kill now for Fido. Bouncing on the head. He's playing leapfrog. He's actually like Kha'Zix when that champion used to be meta. There is the ace. And there is Granzo saying, enough of this charade. Let's close out the 2-0.
Yeah, don't even have to worry about the Baron. They just found the flank from Camille. They found the easy engage onto the carries, and it's just, you know, lights up from there when you have a Tristana just absolutely Goomba stomping all over your backline.
So he was 17 kills and 13 kills. Really are trying to up the ante from game 1 to 2. Who could get the most? Who could break the record? I think the record from memory still has to be Limes, where he got 20.